Hello, welcome back to the stream. It is Monday evening and we're going to be playing some Factorio. We've just got production set up on Vulcanus, so we're now going into the early mid-game, as I like to call it. I was at the Glasgow Film Theatre the other day. Been watching a lot of anime movies lately because they're doing an event. Scotland loves anime, and so this time I saw All You Need Is Kill, which if you've ever seen a movie called Edge of Tomorrow featuring Tom Cruise in a Groundhog Day loop, killing aliens over and over and being killed by aliens over and over, All You Need Is Kill is the story slash manga that story was based off of originally. Um, so apparently the writer sold the rights to a movie production to Warner Brothers, um, which led to the creation of Edge of Tomorrow. But then afterwards, um, they signed a deal to have an anime movie made off of the original story, also distributed by Warner Brothers, which was a bit surprising. But it is really, really good. I would say the complexity of the emotional storyline was lower than Edge of Tomorrow. They explored more concepts with Tom Cruise and the woman. I can't remember her name, unfortunately. I think, but it was quite good. The animation was beautiful, the soundtrack was great, and I loved the two characters' personalities. One key difference is that two people were caught in the Groundhog Day loop simultaneously, and they had different ways of coping and reacting to the crisis. Whereas Tom Cruise basically was the second person to have this happen to him, and the female soldier kind of guided him through like how to make the most use of his new skills and this unique situation. So in this case, hey, catching fire. I'm talking about a movie that I recently saw called All You Need Is Kill, which is the movie Edge of Tomorrow was based off of, and it is very, very cool. Um, but yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go back to the movie theater at 8:40, so I'm going to be missing the Sonic Forces stream, unfortunately, and I'm going to be watching Angel's Egg, uh, which is a very artsy film made in, I believe, 1982 or 90 or 85, um, primarily by the animator slash artist Yoshitaka Amano, who you might recognize as having done the box art for all of the Final Fantasy games. It's I don't know very much about it. I think I saw it once when I was like 12 and I didn't understand any of it. Apparently it's about a little girl with a cosmic egg that she believes contains an angel, and she has a soldier protecting her. And a lot of what happens in the world, it's very like post-apocalyptic, and I think spirits slash manifestations of World War II soldiers are like reenacting the events of the war all around them, and it's got this weird ethereal feel to it. Like the characters know what's going on, and they are not bothering to explain any of it to the audience. You're just kind of there along for the ride, desperately trying to figure out what's going on. So it's going to be quite trippy. I have some friends who joined us for last night's movie and are going to join us again for tomorrow. So very excited for that. And with that, let's jump into the game. So I'm going to turn the tunes off, going to turn Factorio on, and let's get into it. I can move myself down a little bit here. Now, unfortunately, I'm doing fine on the rendering and encoding, but unfortunately, I seem to be dropping half of my frames due to network lag. I don't know what's on with that. I might have to reset my router at some point, but it means that you might be experiencing this at 30 FPS or a little bit choppy. But you can always check out the VOD on my YouTube page. My YouTube channel is also Griff Kitty. After I upload it, and it should be at crisp and clear 60 FPS. So, where we last left off, I'm now tiling the base with refined concrete. The bot auto mall is set up. Well, it's really a bot mall because it's got individual assembly machines. Decent amount of electric engines and flying robot machines. So we are getting, we have 300 Logibots roughly. So that's good. That'll keep up with production. And only like 60 of them are actually in use right now, so that's good to see. Power, we are doing just fine on power. As we expand, we'll have to increase that with um, more steam turbines, but we're doing fine. No problems with sulfuric acid output. Um, I'm consuming somewhat more coal than I would like. Um, I would like today to get to a point in research where I'm making metallurgic science packs, which is this planet's science pack, and then coal liquefaction, which is a more efficient recipe for converting coal into heavy oil. So that's my primary goal for today. We've got a good amount of electric circuits and red chips being made. Let's see, and I'm kind of butting up against the edge of this worm's territory. Let's uh, let's go ahead and mark this so I don't accidentally go over. There we go. Uh, I've already killed this demolisher just with a pile of gun turrets. You can actually see the carnage here. He kind of went directly into the line of gun turrets and just got wasted. But this is a very inefficient way of killing them. Um, Once I have military science set up, I'm going to make a pile of poison capsules, which will kind of create a poisonous cloud and hit all of these sections all at once. Hey, Crayon Munchers, it is going just fine. I was just saying that I've been to the Glasgow Film Theatre a few times this week because they're doing a Scotland Loves Anime thing, and showing uh, a bunch of animated movies that uh, don't always get they don't get enough attention. So tomorrow I'm seeing Angel's Egg, which is a very artsy film. I'm very excited for that. Let's see. Actually, it does look like I'm struggling with heavy oil. So maybe I should double this up. Just like that. And I thought I had something making oil refineries, but I guess not. Make oil refineries, just 2 is fine. There we go. I am making requester chests. Okay, there it got placed. Good. So that will help with oil production. Because I'm getting kind of starved on plastic bars, which is not ideal. So we need to get some basic research down and some labs and get some production science going. So where should I do that? This is a nice large area down here, I think. So that um, playing this on an ancient laptop time where I was just cracking games and couldn't afford any of them. Yeah, that's a bit rough. Let's see. I feel like I could be doing this more efficiently too. Right, what if I, like... there... This is really jank. This is not a good way to do this. I will admit right away. What am I doing? There. Let's just take these out, and boom, 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 and boom. Okay, well that's something. At least I'm getting a bit more concrete being fed in here. But actually, feeding with concrete was not the bottleneck. The bottleneck is just actually, like, time in production. Anyways, let's move away from that rapidly. The thing is, I want to create a little bit more room. There we go, and let's just let's just empty this belt. Okay. Generally, it's not a good idea to have things like butting up against each other like this, but here we are. Right, so we've got electric circuits and red chips being made. I want to divert molten copper here and divert iron here. Okay, and so we've got foundries, and we're going to need a handful of these. So we'll have one foundry outputting cast iron. one outputting gears and one outputting steel. There we go, simple enough. And then I want one outputting copper plate and one outputting copper wire. Oops, I can't do that. There we go. Simple enough. Okay, and that should be... Well, actually, I'm not quite done. I also need... well, actually, do I need the copper wire for anything? For a circuit build, I do. Of course, I could just steal circuits from there. But... Anyways. So, I need red science, which requires gear wheel and copper plates. So we would have one there and one here. There, and then output. And I'm going to redo all of this after I have like better stuff to work with. Like I could design this with beacons in mind. Although I suppose it wouldn't be that difficult to just put the beacons like in line like this. But right now we just need to get like a trickle going. Here we have green science. Just like that. Boom, boom, boom. And these, of course, will require transport belt and inserters. I have a way that I like to do this. I stick it there. This goes here, and we have down, down, and like that. Oh, hey, Marshall Pause. Thanks for the follow. Let's see. So this requires one inserter per science pack, and this will consume one circuit per inserter. So I need to make enough green chips for like 1 per second, basically. Which is actually handily fulfilled by that. So this actually might be a very ghetto build. So we can drag copper cables down here and iron plate down like this. And then gear wheels come down like this. And that's green science done. I am realizing in my hubris that I have kind of backed myself into a corner here. So further into the bit, I will spaghetti my way out here. And I suppose labs will go up here. I'm going to need 3 belts, blue science, space science, and metallurgic science just to get myself started. And, well, I guess I should plan for all 4. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to squeeze that in, so we'll take it as it comes. Right, so that will go like that, and then, well, actually, thinking. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it here. And then like that, okay. And then we could just kind of daisy chain it like that. That one hits the cliff, but that's fine. All right. So that's our lab setup. It's not pretty, but it'll do. Now, blue science. Blue science takes sulfur, advanced circuits, and engine units. I am going to steal advanced circuits from here. Sulfur requires petroleum gas. Doesn't sulfur also require water? Yeah, it requires petroleum gas and water, so I'm gonna actually need both. Very triumphant music here, I have to say. And it's going to require a lot of engine units as well. 24 seconds crafting time. Well, actually, it's an even ratio. So what I could do is let's give myself a little more room to work with first off. Engine units can go directly in. Units, advanced circuits, and sulfur. Gotta think about this a little bit. Oh, that's how you do it. Just like that. Simple enough. This requires advanced circuits and sulfur, right? And how much sulfur am I going to need? This will make 2 per second. That's more than enough. Next step is engine units needs some stuff. It needs pipes, iron gear wheels, and steel plates. So we're actually going to need this foundry to make pipes now. Let's see. Yeah, give myself a little more room to work with. This requires twice as many pipes as steel plates and gear wheels. So we'll just do that. This is already quite spaghetti, but that's fine. There we go. And just regular outstarters will do. That'll go across. And then we can just copy this whole build. Boom, boom. This is terrible. I've already run into a cliff. So how about we invert this then? Flip. We'll move this down by 1. Right, that goes this way, that goes this way. What was the other thing? Oh, right, this can just be reversed. That's fine. So 0.06. How many do I need then? Let's make 12? Is that right? To make one per second? No, it's like 24. Yeah, I need like 24 of these guys. That might be overkill, but that's fine. I keep misjudging the distance by a hair. Right, but that'll do. Right, so that is now that's producing sulfur, that's taking in red chips. These are now making engine units. So we'll just wait for one of these to kick on. It could use a lot more red chips though. and a lot more petroleum. So we are definitely we're butting up against some limits already. The problem is coal. This belt, that is not enough coal. Um, Time for more spaghetti. Yum 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 spaghetti. I don't feel like setting up red belts just yet. There we go. Like, these belts are basically compressed. We can add another one of these just to be safe. But you know what? It can't hurt. It can't hurt. Right. So iron gear wheels going directly into fast transport belts. Underground belts, gear wheels, fast splitters. Yeah, let's see. Make that into plates, make that into gear wheels. Alright, I'm gonna need a lot more gear wheels to come out of this guy. And then this can just output into a passive provider chest. We'll limit that to that many. Need to be requesting Requester chests. And we'll limit that to, let's say, that many, and this to that many. And we are now running low on molten iron, which is to be expected. Oh, which means we're now going to have to change this up a little bit. Let's see. Think. That could go up, I guess. This will go down. This requires calcite, this requires calcite, and this requires lava. There we go. And this is probably the first thing that I should upgrade to red belts, if I'm being perfectly honest. There we go. All right, so that's red belt setup. That's something, anyways. All right, coming back to blue science. A trickle is being made. They are going in. Good. How is oil setup? Oil production. Still very slow. We are now backed up on heavy oil. That's good. We are very low on water, of all things. You know, if it works, it works. How about sulfuric acid? It's it's fine for now. I'm a bit concerned. Now that I can put a pump here, we can make sure that we don't have like power production issues. So let's wire this up here and make sure this is enabled only if sulfuric acid is above 15,000. That way this can keep working. Okay. Now we're still going to be backed up on heavy oil because we need to be converting more of this into light oil. There's got to be a better way to do this. But again, I've really backed myself into a corner with this setup. And likewise with this setup here. I can just kind of copy that there, and this can come straight down. There we go. That should do for now. Let's just buff these, and buff these. All right, let's return to business. So we're making blue science at a trickle, anyways. When this gets more petroleum, then it will do a little bit better. But first, it needs plastic needs to back up a little bit. Okay, next up. I need to make tungsten plates. Which requires tungsten ore and molten iron. Easy enough. No, actually, let's just make a handful. Well, actually, no. Let's go ahead and build it out properly. So, tungsten plate is used in metallurgic science, so that requires molten copper, carbide, plate. Okay. Oh, I'm already regretting the shape of this base. It's become quite spaghetti. In fact, that's the wrong approach. So that's fine. Got tungsten carbide being made up there at a trickle. But here, I want... Yeah, I can do it here. How's that sound? So it would be made here with the help of molten copper, which I can route down here in some fashion. And then I need the tungsten ore. Which again, this is pretty terrible, but hey, if it works, it works. Right, so that takes ore. This requires carbide and ore. Tungsten carbide is made in assembling machines, and they require tungsten ore, carbon, and sulfuric acid. So that means I need coal. Right. And carbon requires coal, sulfuric acid. Where's my sulfuric acid pipe? There it is. I've run into an issue. What's a game of Factorio without some spaghetti, huh? Okay, so we've got all the building blocks now. Um, this will make 0.6 tungsten plate per second. How much metallurgic science will that make? 10 seconds per. Okay, so this really should be done assembly line style. Or maybe I should have it done on the left end and then feeding to the right. Yeah, that seems a bit more sensible. Let's throw down some more roboports while we're at it, get a little bit more help. We are quite close. We're close to getting metallurgic science up. Right, so ultimately I want this to output here, and I want this to output here. Both of these require tungsten carbide, which will be fed in this direction. This requires additional coal, which can go in that direction. So what if I do something like that? Where, actually, no. Right, so that outputs, this inputs. Oh, that doesn't work. Ah, what am I doing? That outputs. I think that works, actually. So now this just requires carbon. And how much? 0.75 per 0.75. That's not ideal. And what was the recipe for carbon again? It was a chemical science plant, or coal and sulfuric acid. Okay. So this can be made at a 1-to-1 ratio. Now that looks like a build that works, actually. Each one of these makes 0.6. And each metallurgic science requires 2 plates. So I need 4. I need 4 to make 1 per second. Likewise, I need 3 per second here, which is 4. Oh, okay. So that works out. So now this will take, we can do something cheeky like that. Just like that, there we go. And then output, 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 output. Connect that there, connect this here. This requires coal. This requires sulfuric acid. And that requires nothing. This requires molten iron. I don't really know why I'm like running all over the place when I could just be doing it all in remote view. But I do have to be careful because I am now building sort of in worm territory. Right, there's all my tungsten carbide being made. So as soon as that last one is built, these will kick on. Good. Convert these to metallurgic science. And then this requires an injection of molten copper. Oh, it just barely reaches. Need to clear that belt a little bit, which I don't really like doing, but again, desperate times. Alright, there we go. We just need a little bit more molten copper, and then this will kick on. Molten copper has stalled for some reason. It's because I interrupted this flow. There we go, look at all it. Oh, alright. So now, what can I make with this? I can make coal liquefaction, but first I need to get space science, which is its own problem. Um, right, so I just need to build a cargo landing pad. I need 200 concrete, and I need an injection of processing units. So what's the fastest way I can possibly set this up? The fastest way is just something like that. This requires 20 circuits and some sulfuric acid, right? Two, 3, 4, 8. Okay. what else are processing units used for? Um, Exoskeletons, well, and asteroid collectors, which we will need. Oh, and I'm gonna need some low-density structures too, aren't I? But actually, I can do this with plastic and a foundry. Um, which I knew already. Oh, this sucks. I'm gonna have to set up space spaghetti style. All right, fine. I'll do asteroid collection here. Or, you know what I mean. Low density structures. Right, so I'm gonna need my molten copper line down here. There's my molten iron. Okay. So just one of these. Give me low density structures. I'm not going to hook that up just yet. How fast does this make it? 5 plastic bars and 15 to make 1. Okay. So if I just do that, that should be more than enough. And passive provider chest. We'll limit it to that many. There, good. We'll hook copper up, and we'll hook molten iron. Oops, that's not gonna work. Isn't working with fluids fun, guys? And just like that, we have low density structures. And we're running low on iron again. we're running low on iron because this is not enough to handle the stone. I need to request some fast transport belts. Let's just get 50 of those and 50 of these. There we go, no problem. Oh man, this is so bad. Alright, but at the least we've relieved our stone back pressure. And that's really still not enough to keep up with demand. We've already completely filled up our tungsten plate backlog. But surely I have enough for the cargo landing pad now. But now I need to make a rocket silo and I need a space setup. Ah, what have I done? Alright. 200 engines, 200 processing units, 1,000 concrete. Don't need that. Don't need these Logibots. Why am I holding on to them? Hey, Pocket Wolf, how's it going? We have begun making metallurgic science. It took some doing, and the base is now properly spaghettified, which I'm not terribly proud of, but hey, it's sort of working. The next thing I need to do is put down a rocket silo and a cargo landing pad. So we can do that here. There doesn't seem to be room for it though. Let's This is so bad. This is just terrible. We'll stick it here. We're going to completely redo this once we get like beacons and stuff. But for now, I really just want to unlock coal liquefaction, turbo belts, and speed module 3s. And cliff explosives. That's actually the biggest one. I need cliff explosives. Coal liquefaction can come later. Asteroid reprocessing, maybe. What else? And then speed module 3s. Yeah. Prod modules. Don't need efficiency modules just yet. And then I need to unlock production science packs so that I can make beacons. And that will be the next phase. These are going to output strictly white science. Okay. So that should be good. Not utility science. I wanted effect transmission. Oh, railways. Need railways. Because this requires rails. I went this whole time without unlocking rails. Low density structures are doing fine. How are we doing on power? We've got 117 megawatts, and it doesn't look like anything is consuming that much right now. So we're fine. It might be worth my while to actually let's shuffle these around a little bit. Get some speed modules up. Right, explosives, coal, sulfur, and water. Again, this is really ghetto, but hey. Actually, you can just set it like that. That'll work a little bit better. Spider chest. Good. Not gonna need too many, but this will make explosives. Oh, that's right. My novice base is making white science. Completely forgotten about that. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The easiest way to do this is through remote view. Actually, can't I take a... There's like a shortcut here. I think it's like... No. I've forgotten it. But I can do that. There, that's what I wanted to do. Right. 0 speed modules, so they will go in automatically. All right. All right. So what am I doing? I need a lot more steel plate, and I still need 200 processing units. These are starved for green chips. Right, 1,000 steel plates. And my construction bots are just dutifully planting down the refined concrete all over the base. It is slowly getting paved, bit by bit. I feel like that's why well, actually I'm not running low on iron anymore. Now that I've handled the iron problem. These are doing fine. So what do I want to work on now? While I wait for the processing units to go. Utility science packs. What would be most useful to me right now? Honestly, nothing in the utility science sphere is terribly necessary at the moment. I could use more robot speed. I think I really want utility science let's get that started. And then automation 3 and effect transmission. Mining productivity is nice. Steel plate productivity is nice. We could get that. You know, I'm having a kind of a brainwave here. But what if? So 30 rails, electric furnace, and productivity modules, right? Oh, but that requires so much red circuits. Okay, it's time to stop futzing around. I need a proper, green chip build. Right, there's my copper and my molten iron. So let's do this. That can stay there though. Right. That will make copper wires. And this will make iron plates. Right, so one of these can go here. This can go there. just wrap like that. Fine. Cut these two out, move these slightly closer. I feel like this is horribly misaligned. Let's do something about that. And once again, I should really be doing this in like remote view so that I'm not like constantly rewriting everything. In fact, this might be a more sensible way to go about this. And then that jumps over, just like that. And in fact, we should probably just upgrade all of this to reds. There we go. Upgrade that to red, and there we have it. So now all we have to do is hook up copper. And hook up iron. And now we can double this a few times. And because we measured that out carefully, we are not butting up against the worm's territory. It's a nice little accident there. This, however, needs to produce a hell of a lot more a lot more iron plates before we can really get anywhere. Let's make some of these. Let's make some of these. And I need a lot more, I need some copper cables to come out of here. There we go. Copper cables. And that is a now sort of healthy amount of red chips. You never have too many green chips. Good. Oh, finally. Okay, these are backing up. That's nice. All right, we've got some red chip production finally. Next, we want to make some production science. This requires rails, electric furnaces, and productivity modules. Let's see about doing this legit first. So, productivity modules, 15 seconds makes 0.05 per second. That's fine. That can go on a 1-to-1. How about electric furnaces? 0.15 per. Okay, so if I just do a handful more via mall, then that'll be fine. rails. 0.5 to make 2. So that makes 3 per second. One rail can supply 3 science. But it doesn't really need to be 1-to-1. It can just be like that. Right, so I think the way I want to do this is we'll just make a pile of productivity module builds. Not really a fan of routing this everywhere. Can I do something like that? Steel. And this iron stick. And these can go into making rails, right? Wait a sec, I've got this all set up down here already. Should really be making use of this. Right, so steel. Steel, iron stick. And stone. These will make rails. And let's see. So just like that, and then And this will request, let's say, 2 production and 2 electric furnaces. And output to, well, it can output to chest, that's fine, or to a belt. Boom, 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 and done. This will take a little while for them all to kick on, but once they do, it'll be basically ratioed. And there's the first purple science. Nice. Also gonna want some, oops. Some productivity science. Do I have enough for my rocket silo? Not yet. Still working on it. Just need so much more green chips. Okay, this makes 6.74, and this consumes, okay, so each foundry can support 4 green circuit builds, 4 green chips. That's 21, and that consumes 4.5, so that's 9, 18. Actually, this is a so one of these and one of these can support these. That's the way that shakes out. What about this? 3.75. So that can... Okay, so one foundry without any speed can support 3. More or less. So I need 4.5, right? Let's just have 50 of these on hand. I am making them, right? Yes, I am. Okay. So that's 4.5. So one speed module will allow this to service 3 exactly. This setup requires 13.5. So one speed module here. 14.4. Perfect. Okay, so what if I do this? Now they have no way of getting out. Hmm. No, that doesn't quite work, does it? Oh, what am I trying to do here? Should I just work on trying to fill the belt? Right, so 30 items per second on copper cable. Is that draining? It is draining. But I need... Right. So that'll make 12. I need 2 more of those. what if I do something like this? So the question is, will 5 inserters drain the foundry? It's hovering at 40. It's slowly going down. Okay, so that will do actually. So it's not going to fill the belt unless I do that. Now if I add a few speed modules, can I get that to 15? Yes, I can. And now that is a fully saturated belt. Okay. Alright, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Except I've made an oopsie. Okay, so let's go ahead and tear this bit up. I've now got some ideas. Yeah, okay, so... Okay, not that much. But these, okay. So the idea here is we do that, and make sure base power is not interrupted. Jeez. And then 1 casting iron. Except not like that. We just want to make 1 going this direction. And then 10 per second should do for iron. So this will make 3. That will make 5. Yeah, that's fine. And then that goes up like that. That's a problem though. This needs to go up by just one more so that this can slot in. Right, and now we simply double this. Or we attempt to anyways. We can move this up. Oh, thank you for the follow, Shokoshiro. You have caught me at near the end of my Factorio stream for the day. I'm trying to make a sort of templated build for green circuits using just the just foundries and well, dang it, I didn't give myself enough room to work. Alright, let's move this up a little bit more. There we go. Toxoplasmosis, oh no! Alright, but now if I double this and flip it good. You must flip it. Well, that doesn't quite work. I've made it too compact. God damn it. Oh, well, thank you. I put a lot of effort into it. Right, so that goes there. I want to leave one belt for this to escape through. And you know what? There's really no point in me fussing about that, so I'm just gonna stick the provider chest there. These can come down like that. Okay. Now we're cooking a little bit. Just the tiniest amount. This I actually want to flip so that the iron is up top. Actually, that's not going to work at all. So let's just completely redo these. So iron goes there. Let's also get rid of these while we're at it. I'll redo that momentarily. Oh, no, wrong. That's wrong. I do want iron to be on the outside. And I want copper to be on the inside belt. So that can go here. Never played Factorio, but you've been way into a couple other sims lately. That's cool. I've played a few sim games, but this one is my my game of choice, to be honest. There's really nothing quite like it. So that can go there. There, and that will kick on momentarily. This can go on the outside. This has turned off for some reason. That's because I've moved everything around. That's fine. This has also turned off. I need to... There we go. Copper, copper, iron, iron, copper. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So these are making just over 15 copper cables apiece. And that is enough to completely fill this red belt, which can transport 30 items per second. Which means we are now running up against the limit of what these can... Oh my god, this is now limited by how quickly they can grab the copper cables. That's funny. That problem will go away once I upgrade to bulk inserters. Well, if that's the case, maybe I can, yeah, I can do something a little cheeky and put some more iron in here and really make most use of the assemblers at the back. This game does destroy your CPU after a certain point. Um, I don't have it enabled, but graphics. Wait, show. No, interface. Where is it? Is it graphics? What I'm looking for is the show CPU, FPS, and UPS, which I was fairly sure was here, but I'm just not seeing it. Interface. Hmm. Strange. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to investigate why that's disappeared. But anyways, um, oh, that's not it. Ah, here we are. Show FPS. So currently I am running at 60 FPS and 60 UPS. After a certain point, you will, um, like your GPU might render the frames just fine, but your CPU will start suffering, and you'll see the second figure start to go down. So when you're dealing with tens of thousands of factories, um, there are some optimization tricks that you have to start doing so that you can make the most use of your factories. But I am still in the early mid game. We're not really at a point where we can worry about that. We're just trying to get like as much production going as possible. In fact, I'm just going to like add a pile more uh, provider chests here so I can just capture as many green chips as I can. So all of it's being used. It's very hungry. Um, I think I also need to copy this build and populate a another copper belt for um, for red circuits. Which again, I'm regretting building this so tightly together. I guess I can do a little cheeky thing, stick it here. Let's just upgrade that, upgrade these belts. Good. There, that'll turn on. We're still quite good on molten copper, and we're quite good on molten iron. So now that we've got a pile of copper cables coming in, we're going to be producing a lot more of these. Still not enough of this production to make a lot of red circuits, but now that we have back pressure on every part of the previous ingredients, it should be doing a little better. And also, more importantly, these processing units, blue chips, require 20 electric circuits. So that's really why we need a green chip production to amp up so that we can get this going. So now I have, finally, enough to make a rocket silo. So, next step. We need to be making some space platform foundations. We need to make some asteroid collectors. Not rockets, but we do need crushers. And that should be fine. What else are we going to need for space? Solar panels, accumulators. I am stockpiling batteries, aren't I? Yes, I am. Okay, good. And what else do we need? I think that's it. Okay. So, for the time being, we'll just plop this guy down here with a single requester chest. Set requests, read orbital requests. There we go. And finally, well, space platform starter pack will make exactly one of those. All right. Now where are we at? We're still. Oh, that's a problem. I've got to drain this. It's also a problem. Jeez. How long has that been going? I hope I don't have any downstream iron in the works. No, looks like that's fine. Okay. Well, that's pretty annoying. Right, but we are starved on electric furnaces for some reason. These are not getting stone bricks. And we are now low on logistic robots. I have some in my inventory for no reason at all. How are we on power? Oh, power is dipping. Okay, these have kicked on again. All right. So, to recap, we now have production science going at a nice, decent clip. We have our rocket silo with space platform foundations being made and all of the essentials. We have red chips and green chips at a very good pace. All right, I would say that's a pretty good place to quit for the day. Next time I will replace everything with assembling machine threes. I will start redoing everything with beacons, um, and make uh, a proper speed module slash prod module factory, um, and duplicate my science platform for Vulcanus, and that will get us all the way through to coal liquefaction and everything else to get this base really going, including turbo transport belts. But really, getting the beacons and the assembling machine threes was the most important bit. Um, I have not unlocked utility science packs yet because that is no, that's all. This is all bonuses as far as I'm concerned. Um, so once we have actual production going on Vulcanus, then we can start playing with this. So that will do it for today. Let's go ahead and save. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. I went a little bit over time as usual. Um, I might have to change my schedule to go to 8 o'clock just because. And yeah, thank you for joining me. Let's see if I can find someone to raid out to. Tomorrow, Tuesdays, I usually play a Sonic game, and currently on deck is Sonic Forces. I'm already through half of the game on the Sonic story. So next week, I'm going to play through missions 18 through 30 on Sonic Story, and then the week after that, I have to start on Shadow's bit. And once we're done with Shadow's story, then we can go to the real meat and potatoes, which is Shadow Generations, which I'm very, very excited for that. Thursday, I do variety streams. Sonic Forces, aka Tails Becomes a Coward. Yeah, you should see the thumbnail that I've picked for last week's stream. But anyways, I'm not playing tomorrow because I'm going to Glasgow Film Theatre to watch an animated movie called Angel's Egg from 1985. It's a very artsy piece by Yoshitaka Amano, who did all of the art for the Final Fantasy box art. It's very very cool. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna have some friends join me for it. But anyways, Thursday I play variety games. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be playing on Thursday, but more Grapple Dog for sure. Very fun action platformer game with very slick grappling mechanics. And I'll think of something else to play for game number 2. But that will do it for today. Let's go ahead and raid Puddle Go Splash. And I might play some more Silk Song on the weekend, but that's always an unscheduled, just kind of if you catch me, then good. But as always, thank you for joining me. I will see you next time.